Today we're going to be talking about one of my most requested videos, which is how I digitize my patterns. Now, what I do is probably the most convoluted thing that you can do, but I'm poor, so this is how I do it. If you want to know more about how you actually make patterns, you can check out my video that's all about that. I'll link it up above and down below in the description in case you're curious. In order to digitize your patterns in a cheap fashion, I personally can't afford Adobe Illustrate. I can only afford one Adobe subscription a month, and that's Premiere Pro because that's what I use to edit. So in order to be able to do it on a cheaper or more budget side, you need to have a program that will allow you to trace and sketch things. And then you need to have a program that you can scale and you can convert to PDF with. This could include stuff like Clip Art Studio, Manga Studios, Procreate, Photoshop, etc. Just kind of anything. I personally use a mix of Manga Studios and Photoshop because Manga Studios doesn't do great with the scaling and Photoshop allows me to convert to PDF. I start by taking a picture of my actual pattern and make sure that it's as flat and as straight on as you can get. And I put that into my drawing program. Depending on the size of the individual thing I'm trying to digitize, such as my hoof that I created for Fern, as opposed to a whole dress, I may decide to do one piece per file or do multiple pieces all in one that are grouped together. As long as it's not too many pieces and too busy, I try to keep it as simple as possible. But if it's a lot of large items, I do space those out into individual files. That's just how it works in my brain. I import the pictures that I've taken into my drawing program, and then I sit there and I trace them with my tablet. So I have crisp lines, make sure my registration marks are very clearly visible. And then also I want to make sure that any notes that I have as well, I can actually write out in case there's stuff that absolutely has to be notated in order for any of the pattern to make sense. From there, I take my clean line art and I put that into Adobe Photoshop. I use Photoshop Elements 9 because it's just what I have, but again, all you need is something where you can scale and convert to PDF. If your drawing program does that, then you're fine to stay within that program. I double check the measurements on my paper patterns and I mark down my length, my width, and any additional notes that I need, and then I scale my digitized patterns into the same size as the paper patterns. From there, I add my watermark, I convert it to PDF, and I triple check all my sizes just to make sure that everything is absolutely exactly as it should be. Make sure you have Adobe Acrobat Reader downloaded, the free version of it, on your computer. You can open up your file into that, click the poster option, and it'll show you if it's to scale or not, and you can get a good sense as to whether or not it'll print really well, or if you need to condense space a little bit more, shift things around, etc. Sometimes I will actually do a test print where I print out all the things and I make either a mock-up out of the paper or whatever just to make sure that it's right, but not always, depending kind of on what it is. If it's more complex, I really want to make sure that the pattern that I've created, either if it's something that I'm selling or if it's something that I need to be able to reuse again, is something that actually will work in the off chance that that original pattern that I've created gets lost or destroyed. Now you have your scaled pattern and you can use it for whatever you need. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comments, and I will see you all next time.